As long as that trait, characteristic, or way of being doesn't waver, that friendship may last a lifetime. That said, if there's one thing we humans are famous for, it's our constantly wavering needs and wants, traits and characteristics. Hi, I'm research psychologist Rogers Follansbee. Can structured psychology help us understand why we sometimes think that we've lost all of our friends? I think it can. Friendships and the process they follow can be difficult to understand. But then, so can all relational activity in general. Friendships can sometimes be unpredictable, fleeting, and unsure, and yet, at the same time, long-term, stable, and unwavering. One day, you might like or even love another human being, and the next, you don't. One day, you might need something only another human being can provide you. But later, you don't need that thing anymore, and your affection for that other human may disappear. One day, you may suddenly realize that your friends of yesteryear are no longer around, and you're wondering why. Friendships can be as diverse and as capricious as an ocean wave. It all depends on how those relationships develop and what the relational circumstances may be when they do. To get that answer you're looking for, it's necessary to understand a friendship's underlying dynamics, while also understanding how we are all psychologically structured. Relationships are not forever, as not only are life circumstances in constant fluctuation, but so are we. Friendships are built on the premise of certain qualities, and yet we humans are constantly changing. We are constantly changing because the relational world we live in never stops changing either. And yet, one can continue to feel relationally attached to another over long periods of time. How is that possible? Well, that's possible because many times a certain trait, human quality, or way of being that we're attached to hasn't changed at all. As long as that trait, characteristic, or way of being doesn't waver, that friendship may last a lifetime. That said, if there's one thing we humans are famous for, it's our constantly wavering needs and wants, traits and characteristics. For example, let's say that you arrive in a new city and join a newcomers club. Some of the people that you meet at that club may become your friend, and they'll become your friend due to the similarity of your living conditions. You're both new to the area. Well, whenever time passes and you slowly integrate into your new social order, that need may no longer be there. And as a result, you may lose some or all of those friends you had previously made. In life, friends become friends for a myriad of reasons, and when those reasons are no longer in play, those friends may fall by the wayside. An interesting but telltale exception to such times you can see in the relationships we have with our own personal pets. And this is really interesting. Living relational objects that provide the kind of unwavering responses that we're all looking for, and do so no matter what, will come from our pets. That said, pets aren't people. It usually takes much more to get on the wrong side of a pet than it does to get on the wrong side of another human. But as usual, that too will depend on the pet and the relationship that you have with that pet. So be on alert. A mouse will grant any number of human missteps and still be your friend. Certain species of primates, however, won't let you get an inch out of line before they'll react to that human misstep and no longer be your best buddy. And there's another interesting thing about human relationships one should keep in mind. If you feel that from one day to the next, the group of friends you once had is no longer available to relate to you, ask yourself whether you've lately made a real effort to relate to that group. Again, Keep in mind that all relationships are a two-way affair. Breaking one of a relationship's subject-object configurations, and no relationship can take place at all. You've got to remember that we humans are relational beings, and all relationships between living things need confirmation. If for any reason, for example, we stop confirming others, there's a good chance that others will stop confirming us. That's just the way relationships work. They are all based on mutuality. In other words, all relationships are not only built on the mutuality of one's likes and dislikes, needs and satisfactions, but equally on the longevity of a relationship as well. If you can count on the positive, helpful characteristics of someone else, and this is important, they can count on yours, your mutual attachment to each other will not change. But if your relationship with others is intermittent, don't be surprised if that friend may look around for other ways of fulfilling their need for relational consistency and stability. And while you're at it, look for the reasons why your own relational activities wane. Perhaps those people are not currently providing you with the kind of relationship you need either. So perhaps you should start looking around for those who will. Again, relationships are two-sided events, and that you can count on 100% of the time, no matter what. Thank you for watching.
Understand why we all think, feel, and do the things we do. Read It's Not Your Fault by Roger Stolensby. Link in the comments below.